Imagine giving up everything familiar for a journey into the unknown. The smell of your home, the sound of your friends' laughter, the comfort of your own reflection, all left behind for something bigger, something harder, something you can't yet understand. It starts as a dream, a quiet voice in the back of your mind that refuses to fade. For some, it's adventure. For others, it's duty. For me, it was purpose. Late 2025. The world feels uncertain, borders tense, headlines blurring with conflict and crisis. I was tired of watching from a distance, tired of wondering who I could be if I truly pushed myself. Joining the Navy wasn't an impulse. It was an answer. The paperwork was easy. The decision was not. I remember the night before I left. My mom made my favorite meal, trying to smile through the silence. My dad stood in the doorway, hands in his pockets, eyes glassy in the dim kitchen light. My little brother asked if I'd be back for Christmas. I told him I would. I wasn't sure if that was true. When I packed my bag, it felt heavier than it should have been. Not from the clothes, but from the weight of what I was leaving behind. As the bus pulled away from my hometown, I watched everything I knew fade into the distance. My reflection in the window didn't look brave. It looked terrified. But somewhere beneath that fear was a spark, a single thought. This is the first step. Bootcamp didn't wait for hesitation. It hit like a tidal wave. Day 1, shouting voices, boots pounding pavement, names replaced by numbers. The air smelled of salt and sweat. Every mistake echoed like a hammer on steel. Sleep became a luxury. Every second was a test. The first week I questioned everything. I wasn't strong enough, not fast enough, not ready enough. The instructors stripped away everything, pride, comfort, ego, until all that was left was the raw version of myself. But that's the point. To build a sailor, you first have to break the civilian. Each week grew harder, but somehow it also became clearer. The push-ups, the sprints, the endless drills, they weren't just physical. They were psychological warfare against doubt. And slowly, I started to fight back. Around week 4, something changed. I stopped hearing my own heartbeat. I started hearing theirs, the people next to me, the ones sweating, shouting, and stumbling through the same fire. We were strangers once. Now we were brothers and sisters. We learned to march as one, to think as one. The pain became bearable because it was shared. I'll never forget the first time we nailed a formation perfectly. The instructors didn't say a word, just nodded. That single nod carried more weight than 1,000 compliments. There were nights when exhaustion won, when I lay on the bunk staring at the ceiling, wondering if I could do it all again tomorrow. But every morning I rose, because quitting wasn't an option anymore. By graduation, I barely recognized the person standing in that uniform. The fear had been replaced with discipline, the hesitation replaced with pride. But boot camp was just the beginning. Next came specialized training, the forge that turned recruits into warriors. Choosing my rate wasn't easy. Every path demanded something different: brains, brawn, precision. I chose mine because it scared me, because it required calm in chaos, because it meant responsibility when failure wasn't an option. The training was brutal. The simulations, unforgiving. Long hours in cramped compartments, smoke filling the air, alarms screaming in my ears. My gloves soaked with sweat, heart racing as I tried to remember every step I'd been taught. You learn quickly that confidence isn't arrogance, it's control. When the pressure builds, your heartbeat becomes your metronome, your breathing your anchor. Panic kills. Preparation saves. Each drill carved away weakness. Each success built quiet confidence. By the end, I didn't just know my job. I trusted myself to do it under fire. And then came the call, deployment. There's something surreal about stepping onto a ship that's about to carry you across the world. The steel beneath your boots, the hum of engines below deck, the horizon stretching endlessly in every direction. It's equal parts freedom and confinement. Life at sea is repetition and revelation. You learn to live in rhythms. Early mornings cleaning the deck, afternoons checking systems, nights under a sky so wide it swallows every worry you've ever had. You learn that morale isn't just about laughter, it's about unity. It's about small acts that mean everything, sharing snacks from home, trading stories in the galley, standing watch for someone who's too exhausted to move. There are days the ocean is calm, glass-like, stretching to infinity. And there are days it turns violent, slamming against the ship, roaring like a living thing. In those moments, you feel small and alive. There's a bond that forms on deployment, something words can't quite touch. It's forged in monotony, sharpened by danger, and sealed by trust. When one person struggles, everyone carries the weight. Sometimes, during long night watches, I'd find myself staring at the stars, the same stars that hung over my hometown. I'd think of my family, the promises I made, the person I used to be. I realized how much had changed. Because the Navy doesn't just teach you how to serve. It teaches you how to endure, how to lead, how to find peace in pressure. A year in, 12 months that feel like a lifetime. I came in a civilian, unsure of my worth. I stand now as a sailor, stronger, quieter, and grounded in something real. Home feels different now. Streets smaller, noise louder. The world moves fast, but I move with purpose. People ask what it's like, the training, the discipline, the isolation. I tell them it's not about becoming fearless. It's about learning to act despite fear. It's about trust, sacrifice, and the quiet pride of knowing you've earned your place among those who serve. Looking ahead, I see a horizon full of possibilities. More deployments, more responsibilities. Maybe leadership, maybe sacrifice. But whatever comes, I'm ready. Because the Navy didn't just change my life, it changed who I am. For anyone standing where I once stood, uncertain, hesitant, afraid, know this. You don't have to be ready. You just have to begin. The Navy will make you ready. You'll be tested in ways you can't imagine. You'll sweat, stumble, and question yourself, but you'll also rise. You'll find strength you didn't know existed, because the journey from recruit to warrior isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about facing the storm and standing tall anyway. And when that year is over, when you stand in your uniform looking out at the sea, you'll understand what every sailor learns in time, that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of it. That's what it means to serve. That's what it means to transform. That's what it means to become a Navy warrior. 1 year, one journey, a life changed forever.